welcome to Flora Models. Today we've got something a little bit different. We've actually got a 1/48 scale Yak-23 flora by a company called Mikr Mir. Is that right? Somebody tell me. I have no idea. Okay, but something really interesting. As you can see down here, it is a little Yak-23, something you don't see every day. To be honest, me and Matt saw this one recently and grabbed it, and yeah, I have to say it is very cute little kit. Again, never heard of the manufacturer, so I always like to sort of showcase stuff that we don't know. So a quick run round the box. So your kit number for this one is 48013. Okay, some of the other stuff that you do down there, an LA9, we got a UT1 and a BI1, which to be honest, I haven't seen any of those whatsoever. Okay, and there's some web address information down there if you want to get that as well. So in the box, which is a little dinky little box, as you can imagine, it's not the biggest. We can get this to stand up, probably not. Get something in behind it that's heavy. There we go, something like that. Okay, so as you can see, it's quite organic. We don't have massive amounts down in here. Okay, so let's just see how we're going to get in the box. It looks like it is going to be a cut job. Nope, there it is. Sealed. Okay, so down in here, that's quite a nice touch. Look, we got a little bag there with some other details. We've got the little instructions down in here. Because it's a small kit, let's just move the top camera down just a little bit so we can get it all in. Okay, so there we go. This is the little Yak-23 flora, jet developed in the 1940s by the USSR, blah blah blah, and there we go. Okay, so down in here we can see the actual kit itself. We've got a couple of little sprues down there. We've got a little bit of photo etch, a little bit of film. We've got a mask set even, which is a very nice touch. And then down in there as well, we've got markings. It looks like for Polish, Czech, and US Air Force, as well as Russian as well. So something to behold. Okay, as you can see, this isn't a slouch. This is actually quite a detailed. So we've got quite a nice little detailed engine down in there. Again, the actual intake system going down in there. And then over here we've got a little bit all over the place with the instructions, so I'll make my way through as you can see. So we do have build up for the actual wheel wells as well, the main ones, and then obviously we've got the actual wings being fitted on there. And then down in here we can see where a lot of that photo etch is going to go. So obviously it's called out in red, so we've got the usual sort of photo etch film system, laminated layers going down in there as well. We do have seat belts or harnesses down in there onto the seat as well, and we've even got photo etch little toe covers for the or toe straps for the actual rudder pedals themselves. A nice little touch. Separate instrument side panels, obviously flight controls, the usual things like that. Then again, what's really weird is obviously the engine going in front of the pilot being a jet engine. Normally you don't see this type of thing. It's normally far down the back, but there we go. That shows the big lump at the front. So we've got the actual intake and then the actual engine itself being fitted down in there. Okay, and then obviously with this one it forces it out down the bottom. All right, so there we go, instrument side panels going in there and then the two halves going together. Okay, there's the underside that shows the actual exhaust for the actual engine system itself. So we've got a little bit of a fan, rear fan section, wing sections being pushed in there, long old tabs as well. Okay, tailplanes going on. Then we've got the undercarriage again, nothing over the top, nothing fancy. And then the nose system being fitted in there, and then the all important armament. So we've got a couple of cannons down there at the front. Okay, which okay, weirdly you make your own cannons. So it says stretch some sprue to 0.3mm in width, and that's how you make your guns. Okay, fuel systems being fitted in, and then a one-piece canopy. It's not a split one, but it does come with a mask set on there, as you can see. So there we go. That's the ones you've actually got for some of the markings. Probably a bit better here on the close-up. So down in here we've got the USSR from 1949, and then obviously we've got the Czech Forces 1955. We've actually got the Polish Aviation Institute 1956, quite nice with the yellow tail, which is obviously the box art one. And then we've got another Polish one down there in the silver with the standard Polish markings on there. And then we got the Yak-23 2nd Fighter Regiment, US Air Force, obviously one that's been over to Wright-Patterson for testing, no doubt. And then again another Yak one down there for the Polish Air Force in 1955. Okay, so again, very nice touch. Does seem to be Ukrainian companies come out with some very interesting models. Okay, so As we said before, we have got, we'll cover it here, lovely little bit of photo etch, okay, nothing massive, but again, very worthwhile. Nice bezel details, things like that, onto the instrument, and then obviously your harness set, things like that on there. Then we've got two-piece down here, so we've actually got a two-piece photo etch set. I'll put the white, you can see it a bit better, there we go. So that's your bezels, you just about make them out down in there, perfectly adequate. Very old school, but it definitely does the trick still. Okay, we've got a mask set here that's all been pre-die cut as well. This is for the actual, I don't know if the camera's picking that out too well, but it's for the front windscreen area and the main one itself. As speaking of which, we have it right here. Okay, it's not going to win any awards for cleanness, but it's got a little bit of flash on there as well. But the canopy is pretty adequate. Wouldn't take much just to give that a quick dunk, and I think you'll be absolutely fine with that. And then a quick whip round, get rid of the flash, and you'll be good to go. Okay. Decals remind me of something pretty old school, if we're honest, as you can see down in here. But I have to say, they're all pretty good. They're good, solid colours right the way through. Obviously silkscreen printed. No problems with any of those. The markings, it's all in register. It's all very nicely done. It's just the sheet itself, not having a cover or anything. It does look like it's very, very old school. Okay, let's just pop those in there and keep them all nice and safe. Okay, on to the good bit, into the plastic. Okay, so we've got a little bit flashy obviously around the sprue, as you might imagine. Down in here we've got some bits been chomped out as well. Okay, but the actual parts themselves, we've got recessed panel line detailing, looks pretty good. It's not going to win any awards anytime soon, but again, limited run, this type of thing. A little bit of machine marks in there. Usual thing, it's sort of short run, so we don't have any locating tabs or anything else like this down here on the underside. But having a look around, as you can see, you catch the details in the light, looks pretty good, very nice, good starting position. I would have thought this thing was pretty heavily puttied over, so we're not looking for tons of riveting detail on this. But generally not too bad at all. Got no sink marks, no nothing. It's just that the mold itself has got various, I don't know how well the camera can pick up, difference in colours. I think this is release agent and things like that all over it. Okay, so you just want to give it a good probably wash before you get going with this one. Okay, the wings again heavily flashed. Just think short, limited run, but again good starting point. Very much recessed panel lining right the way through. Again, you might want to pop around, to be honest, and sharpen them up. Just pop in there with a blade and then take care of it literally just like that. Again, no tabs anywhere for locating, so it's just going to be a case of sandwiching it together and then giving it a shave up. But again, doing control surfaces, things like that, because they're solid, you could easily cut these open and then obviously pop your own in just like that. Okay, so we do have instrument panel, which we've already got one down in here if you wanted to use it, or as I said, we've seen the photo etch one. That one's a little bit crude to say the least. Again, it's flashy, it is what it is, it's very limited run, but it's all here, absolutely. You've got a little bit of machine marks perhaps on some of these areas. I'll catch it in the light, you can see. There you go, you just see a little machining mark. You're going to need to polish things like that out. But again, I will always forgive it. I know a lot of people say I give the big companies a lot of flack and I seem to take it easy on these smaller companies. It is a smaller company. We're not expecting Tamiya here. I don't even expect it to come anywhere close to it. So I always think of the positive things from these companies trying to push out these kits, you know, out to the wider world of definitely stuff that isn't mainstream. Okay, so as you can see, loads of little bits. This is probably the finest part of the entire kit, is all the sort of engine detail. Again, heavily flashed. We've got various lumps going down in here, going to need to be cleaned out. But generally, it is what it is. It's got, unfortunately, some pretty horrendous burring, and that's the laminations between the two. But again, you know, you're going to have to clean it all up as you make your way through. But just down in here, these internal engine parts, catching it in the light, you've got, there we go, you're seeing this guy just down in here. Look at all the detail on that. Even though you're never going to see any of it, by the time you put it together, it is a very, very nice touch. Okay, and we've got all the cylinders, the combustion tubes, things like that, no problems whatsoever. The gear's got a little bit of sink marks in it, usual things you're going to have to look out for. But also, when you're dealing with something on this scale, it's never a problem. Quick bit of super glue and a sink mark, 10 minutes later, sand it, job's done. Piece of cake. Okay, so Wheels are, yeah, pretty atrocious. Okay, and again, you're going to need a little bit of cleanup right the way through down on here. So as you can see, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's pretty crude, but again, I will forgive it, all of it, purely because of what it is. It is something completely different, something you're not going to see every day. And again, it's a limited run. You know, the company that are doing it aren't one of these huge companies that are going to throw loads at it and all the rest of it, but it is going to make up for something a little bit nice. And honestly, I can't see a problem with any of that whatsoever. I think it'll come together to be something very, very nice, especially if you're going to go down there with the sort of metal finishes. This isn't a metal finish, it will be painted and all the rest of it, because it would have been puttied heavily to get rid of all the lumps and bumps, just to make it a little bit more slippery in the old air. And then painted silver. But again, it'd be one of those ones that's something a little bit different. Give it some markings, I think with the Polish markings as well. It'll be a very, very attractive aircraft. So there we go. That is the Mikr Mir 1/48 scale Yak-23 Flora.